Hello, welcome to Elite Weather Forecasting. My name is Mr. G, your meteorologist. Today, I'm your meteorologist every day on this channel. So let's talk about that weather forecast for this afternoon on your Saturday. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend and it's going for you. Our city of the day is going to be Tampa, Florida right now. And we are looking at a beautiful day out there on the riverfront. And we're looking at not a lot of folks outside right now because it's so goddamn hot across the Tampa Bay area where those temperatures are 98 degrees and we are seeing those dew points in the high 70s to lower 80s. So that means we have a heat index of about 105 degrees. You can see those puffy clouds up there in the sky. We are expecting showers and thunderstorms in this area as well, as we have a lot of tropical moisture out over the Gulf, as well as our latest area of interest across the Gulf of Mexico right now that could spawn the next tropical storm or depression within the next couple of days. And Tampa would be right in the path of that, potentially in the path of the next tropical system to develop out over the eastern areas of the Gulf of Mexico, there off of the Bay of Cancun in Mexico. So let's talk about that weather forecast for the rest of the country. Okay, so now as we talk about the weather forecast, we got a new hurricane to talk about. Yes, we have Hurricane Franklin here right now with 75-mile-per-hour winds. It's a Category 1 hurricane, and so it is relatively weak out here as far as hurricanes are concerned, and it is our Category 1 hurricane. As you can see, it's not very well organized. It's really struggling to maintain that Category 1 status. There is our area of circulation, but you can see that the most of the convection is down to the south and to the east here, and we see a nice low-level circulation, but it's still dealing with a lot of wind shear, so we're not seeing a clearly defined area of circulation here. It's not wrapped around completely, so we are dealing with a lot of hands fighting against further development of this tropical system. We remain to see if it advances beyond a Category 1, but right now we have our first named hurricane in the tropical Atlantic, and here is the direction that our storm is going to take. It is forecast to get up to Category 2, perhaps even Category 3 strength, so it's going to become a major hurricane as it begins to make its turn toward the northeast there. Just as it passes Bermuda, we're going to see winds hit 120 miles per hour possibly by Tuesday. That will be a Category 2, Category 3 storm. So a potentially major hurricane to affect areas around Bermuda and the eastern U.S. It's going to skirt behind. This is our cone of uncertainty here. So by Tuesday, Bermuda can definitely be affected by some rain and wind from Hurricane Franklin. And here is our forecast for the next 5 days across the Gulf of Mexico, where we have our latest area of interest right here. This is Cancun, Mexico, and we have this area that's developing right here over into the Western Caribbean Sea, and that's going to be making its way north and east, and eventually cross over Florida, the Panhandle. So if you're in Tallahassee, places like Tampa, maybe Panama City Beach, you might be in the path of a potential tropical depression or a tropical storm, or maybe even a hurricane, depending on how well this organizes and develops. And this is a look at the forecast as far as wind shear is concerned. And as you get up here, we're seeing a bit in improving conditions as far as wind shear. We're going to see a bit of wind shear to the south, but as it moves out of this area and into this area, there's a lot less wind shear to deal with, so we could see a bit favorable area for development here across the central Gulf of Mexico. Right about here is where we could see the most significant strengthening of this tropical system as it makes its way toward the Florida Panhandle. And here is our our National Hurricane Center development chance, and we do see a low to high chance for further development here, especially out here as it moves out to the north and out of this region here, where we have lower chances for development because there is a lot more wind shear further to the south there. Here is our rainfall forecast through Monday through Thursday from this tropical system, where we can see 2 to 3 inches of rain right here off the west coast of Florida. Many areas will pick up 1 to 2 inches of rain, a half inch of rain here to the west near New Orleans. So a lot of rain potential there from this tropical system that is going to be currently moving across the eastern Gulf of Mexico and affecting the state of Florida. And here is our relief from the heat. So cooler air is on the way. Many folks are already seeing cooler air, so it's nice to see a nice pattern change in the works right now. Our big ridge of high pressure is going to scoot back out to the west, which is going to open the door for a trough to develop in the east, and that trough is going to drop way down to just about near the Gulf Coast, all the way into midweek next week. So many folks on the eastern United States, from the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest, the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Central Plains as well, will see some relief from the heat. And some folks further to the north, if you're in the Great Lakes and states like Wisconsin and Minnesota and North Dakota, you might even see temperatures fairly close to fall or late September temperatures. So great. That's going to be great news for a lot of folks as we suffer through the heat. This is our current situation that we're going to be seeing on Sunday. Still going to be dealing with a lot of that heat and humidity along the Gulf Coast. So if you're in southern Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, southern Texas, south of this frontal boundary, you're going to continue to see a lot of heat and humidity, but as well as some thunderstorms possible in the afternoon, because we have this frontal boundary right here, and that frontal boundary will be the focus for showers and thunderstorms. So we're going to see showers and storms along this front. We have an area of low pressure out here over Texas and Oklahoma, so that's going to be a focus for some severe weather as we move into your Sunday. So we're going to keep an eye on that potential, as well as we're going to see heavier showers and thunderstorms around that weak area of low pressure. And then for Monday, the front drops a little bit further to the south, and we're going to be seeing that heat move closer, gets sandwiched there along the Gulf Coast, and a little bit cooler across some of the northern half of the southern states and the Appalachian Mountain Range. So the deep south will continue. The further south you can get along I-10, this will continue to be very, very hot and humid. A little bit less humidity along I-20 and I-30 and I-40. If you're moving further to the north towards Kentucky and Tennessee, North Carolina, you will see temperatures a little bit cooler. We'll see those 70s and 80s, and those dew points, instead of being the 80s, and will come down into the 50s and 60s. So a lot comfortable, a lot more comfort with the humidity and the temperatures, a little bit less heat index to worry about across there as we move into Monday and early next week. And here is the overall forecast for the eastern half of the U.S. early next week. We're going to be seeing that front kind of become stationary down here across the south and the southeastern U.S. It's going to pretty much become stationary, and we're going to see a lot less humidity further to the north, all the way up to the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest near Minnesota, Wisconsin, and up to the Canadian border. A lot less humidity, much nicer temperatures for everybody out there. And then here is our temperatures this weekend and our heat index. These are heat index temperatures, and we see those temperatures in the Dallas-Fort Worth area around 110. But look at those 80s up there in Kansas City, and 90s and to 80s in St. Louis. So if you're north of if you're in the Great Lakes, say if you're north of I-80, I-70, you're going to be seeing a much better humidity, less effect from heat indexes. So improvement weather conditions. but it's going to continue hot in the south. But we will see those temperatures and dew points come down just a little bit. But like I say, Little Rock, you're going to go from 113 to 96 by the time we get to Sunday. But it's going to stay pretty hot down across the further south. So Georgia, Atlanta on Sunday. But Monday, we'll see that go down further. But look at this, 111 in New Orleans and 104 in Tampa. So it's going to stay hot across if you're south of I-10, it's going to stay very, very hot over that region. And here is our early next week. This is our high temperatures as we take a look at the eastern United States. A lot of 70s and 80s. Check out the 60s up there in Cleveland. 70s, lower 70s. So we're going to be getting into some late September type temperatures here. So very nice across the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest especially. That's going to be the place to be. Very nice in the Northeast in New England and the Mid-Atlantic as well. We're going to see those temperatures in the lower 80s. So a bit of good news for a lot of you folks out there. So August 30th through September 3rd, again, much cooler in the Northeast and New England. Cooler temperatures across the eastern U.S., but it's going to remain hot and warm across the central, the plains, and Texas. So the heat will remain. The heat will begin to build in again as we head into the Labor Day holiday. We're going to see that heat start to build back in across the central plains and the high plains as that ridge comes back. See, once that front moves out of the way, that ridge will circle back and build back in next week. So enjoy the temporary respite from the heat, okay? And here is our forecast heat alerts through Tuesday. We're going to see those excessive heat warnings here across East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, through parts of Arkansas, southern Missouri as well. But we're going to be seeing heat advisories also in place across the Deep South through Tuesday. So not everybody is going to beat the heat, but even for places where it's still going to be hot, it's not going to be as hot. But so a few degrees here and there will be very nice, and everybody, hopefully you enjoy that relief from the heat. My name is Mr. G. That is your weather forecast. Thank you for watching me today, guys, and I will be back with another video tomorrow. Remember, leave your likes, comments, and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.